May the angels wrap you in their light right now, in this exact moment, wherever you are sitting or standing or lying down. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to Philip and Victoria for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Here is the truth. Someone you love, someone you have been thinking about, someone whose name still lives quietly in your chest, is going through something right now that they have not told a single soul. And if you stay with me until the very last word, you will understand exactly why their hands have been shaking, why their heart has been racing, and why they cannot stop thinking about you. Do not scroll away. Do not look at anything else. This message was placed in front of you for a reason, and the reason is about to unfold. Beloved soul, do not move. Do not scroll. Something big is waiting for you, and it starts with this. The person on your mind nearly lost their breath when they found out what you did. It was not anger they felt. It was pure disbelief, wrapped around something even deeper, something they have not felt in a very long time. They stood still for minutes, just staring, whispering your name so quietly that only their own heart could hear it. The people near them had no idea what had happened, but they noticed the color leave their face. Something shifted in that moment, and it has not stopped shifting since. That person could barely breathe properly, because what they learned about you changed everything they believed they understood. They did not expect you to take that step. They thought you had quietly walked away, moved on, let it all fade into silence. But when your name showed up again, in a way they never saw coming, it struck their heart like a bolt of light across a dark sky. And now, dear one, heaven says this truth cannot stay hidden any longer. Something you did recently, something so small and simple yet so full of quiet power, has completely shifted their emotions. They are not the same person they were before. Stay with me, because the moment you stop listening is the moment you miss the part that explains why this person nearly fell apart. You may believe they forgot about you, but destiny had a very different plan in mind. They saw something of yours again, shared this time by someone they never expected, and every memory they had buried came rushing back all at once. Their friends looked at them with confusion, asking if everything was okay, but they could not find the words to answer. The air around them felt heavier, and for a second they nearly lost their footing, because what they saw was not just a memory. It was a reminder of everything they had let slip away. The angels are saying that the reason their heart reacted so strongly is because your energy never actually left them. Every night, even while trying to fill the space you left with someone or something else, your name kept echoing quietly in the silence. And now that energy has returned in a way that is impossible to ignore. That is why they cannot sit still, why they keep pacing, asking themselves how they ever let you slip through their fingers. Do not skip this next part, because it matters. The universe wants you to know that what you did was never a mistake. It was divine timing working exactly as it should. That small action, the one that shook them so deeply, was guided by something much bigger than either of you realized. Maybe you shared something, changed something, or simply walked away without a word. Whatever it was, it carried a kind of energy that reached them instantly. When they felt it, regret and longing collided inside them all at once. They tried to act like nothing had changed, but underneath the surface, Something in them was breaking open. Their pride began to soften as they realized just how much they still care about you. Now they cannot help but check in on you, even quietly, even from a distance. Even the people who once told them to move on are surprised by how deeply this has affected them. They find themselves rereading old conversations, replaying old memories, whispering your name before they fall asleep. Heaven says their soul recognized your frequency all over again. It is as if your energy touched their heart with a spark of something electric and divine. That is why their body responded so strongly. It was not weakness. It was an awakening. Something huge is waiting for you, so please stay with me. That moment they had, the one where everything felt like it stopped, was not random at all. It was heaven's quiet signal that their transformation had already begun. They are being shaken on a soul level so they can finally see who you truly were all along. Maybe there was a time they doubted you, judged you, or took your presence for granted. But now the universe keeps replaying your kindness, your loyalty, your quiet strength, your patience, over and over in their mind. Every memory that flashes through their thoughts touches something deep inside them, making them realize just how much they lost. The people close to them have noticed the sudden quiet that has settled over them. Their friends say they seem distant, distracted, somewhere else entirely. But deep down, it is you. You are the reason they cannot focus, cannot laugh the way they used to, cannot even eat properly some days. They thought they had moved past this. They have not. You, dear soul, have stirred something that feels bigger than both of you. What you did opened a door in their heart that cannot simply be closed again. And that is exactly how it was always meant to happen. Stay here with me. The next few moments are sacred, because that shock they felt is slowly turning into a realization, a quiet understanding that they were wrong about you. They are seeing your worth now, the kind of worth they overlooked before. Every little sign around them seems to bring you to mind. A song on the radio, a certain word, an unexpected chill down their spine. It all feels connected somehow. Their angels are whispering your name constantly, and they are fighting a wave of guilt that keeps rising inside them. Heaven says they are close to reaching out. They have tried to stop themselves more than once, but their heart will not let it go. Their emotions are spilling over now, and nothing they try seems to quiet the echo of your name. Soon, the same person who nearly lost their breath because of what you did will appear again. This time they will be trembling, not from shock, but from a love they can no longer hide. Stay with this. Something big is waiting for you. You are standing at the edge of a reunion that heaven has been quietly arranging with perfect timing. Everything you once believed was lost is coming back to life in a stronger, deeper way. When they saw your light shine again, they realized it was never actually gone. They understood in that moment that you were the only one who ever truly understood their silence, their struggles, the parts of them they kept hidden. And now they are getting ready to face you, even though the idea terrifies them a little. Their heart races every single time they imagine that conversation happening. They rehearse the words in their mind but cannot quite find the courage to say them out loud yet. But soon, they will break the silence that has kept the two of you apart. Heaven says, stay still, stay calm, do not chase, do not question. Let the timing unfold the way it is meant to. What has been written for you cannot be delayed forever. They know now, deep in their bones, that losing you was one of the biggest mistakes of their life. And that collapse they felt, it was never weakness. It was an awakening. The universe wanted them to feel that jolt so they could finally see the truth of who you really are. So do not for 1 second think your effort went unnoticed. Every quiet tear, every prayer whispered under your breath, Every time you chose to grow instead of getting even, all of it became your protection. Heaven is rewarding you now. What felt like pain to them will soon turn into their own confession. The very person who once could not handle your strength will now fight with everything they have to never lose you again. Something big is waiting for you, dear soul. It is unfolding even now, while you listen to these words. Stay. Do not look away. The story is far from over, because soon they will come forward with trembling hands and eyes filled with tears. They will tell you the truth. They never actually stopped loving you. The world around them may have judged your quiet strength, but heaven always knew your worth. And when they finally say those words, you will understand that everything had to unfold exactly the way it did. The shock, the silence, the distance, it was all preparation for a reunion written by something far bigger than either of you. The angels are saying your patience was never wasted. Every delay was simply divine timing lining itself up. Now is the season when heaven begins turning your pain into strength and your waiting into something close to a miracle. So hold your heart steady. Do not rush. Do not look back. What is about to unfold will gently heal everything that once broke you. Stay close because heaven feels nearer than ever right now. That person nearly lost their breath when they discovered what you did, because your light reached them stronger than it ever had before. And that very light is what will guide them back to you. Stay open, stay grounded, and remember this one thing. What truly belongs to you will always find its way back, even if it has to pass through fire first. Something big is waiting for you. The reunion is closer than you think. The shock has already begun quietly working its magic. And heaven is smiling, because destiny is finally coming full circle. Dear soul, stay right here with me. Do not skip ahead, because what happens next will make your heart beat a little faster. The story did not end the moment they found out what you did. It only just began. Something unseen started shifting that very night, quietly rewriting the path ahead. They could not sleep. They tossed and turned, replaying that moment again and again in their mind. Every breath carried a memory of you. Every silence echoed with the sound of your voice. They tried everything to distract themselves, but your presence lingered like a song they simply could not turn off. What they felt was not only emotional. It reached somewhere deeper, somewhere spiritual. Their soul recognized yours across time and distance, and suddenly every wall they had built to forget you started quietly falling apart. Now the universe is gently making sure they face what they once tried so hard to run from. Their body reacts before their mind even catches up. Heart pounding, palms sweating, eyes searching for your name again. It is destiny pulling them back, stronger than any pride they once held on to. Stay still. Stay with me. The truth about to be revealed will explain why everything happened exactly the way it did. Heaven allowed them to feel that fall the moment they saw what you did, because it was time for their own awakening. They believed, for a while, that they could replace you. They tried to act like it did not matter. But the moment the truth reached them, that illusion shattered completely. Now they are realizing that your quiet strength was never weakness. It was power all along. The angels say their fall was heaven's gentle way of breaking down their pride. Every tear they shed that night was a kind of cleansing. Every moment of disbelief was their heart finally remembering a love it had buried too deep to reach. And now the signs are everywhere around them. The same songs that remind them of you keep playing. The same numbers keep appearing. The same little details, a scent, a time on the clock, keep showing up gently, again and again. Heaven is softly reminding them of you. Stay with me because this next part matters. They are about to make a move. For days now, they have been quietly rehearsing what they want to say. Their pride is softening, and all that is left underneath it is honesty. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection. Surround it with divine light and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. They want to admit the things they never dared to say before. They have written and deleted messages more times than they can count. They look at your picture and whisper how much they miss you, scared but desperate to reach out anyway. Heaven says, do not chase them. Your quiet presence already speaks louder than any words could. The people around them are confused by the sudden change they have noticed. Why the sleepless nights? Why the restless heart? But you already know why. That one simple act of yours, so honest and so brave, rewrote something deep inside their emotional world. They are finally understanding your worth, your loyalty, your light. That collapse was never pain for its own sake. It was truth finally finding its way to the surface. Something big is waiting for you. Stay with me here. Heaven is preparing a moment that will surprise you both in the most meaningful way. This is not simply about getting back together. This is about revelation, about truth finally coming to light. The person on your mind is fighting a quiet battle right now, caught between fear and love. Every thought of you brings both an ache and a strange sense of relief. They cannot believe they let you go, yet they also cannot believe you still care enough to have done what you did. The angels say they will soon share the real reason they disappeared in the first place. The truth is heavier than you might expect. It was never betrayal. It was fear. They ran from the intensity of what they felt for you. But now, after seeing what you did, they understand it was never really about timing or distance. It was always about destiny. You are their mirror, showing them who they truly are. Stay with me. Something meaningful is unfolding right now, even as you listen. Their tears are slowly turning into clarity. Their confusion is turning into courage. Heaven is quietly aligning everything to bring the two of you face to face again. You have been patient. You have been strong. You have stayed quiet through it all. And now the reward is close. What felt like shock to them was actually the breaking of their own inner chains. When they saw what you did, something in their heart whispered, they still care, they still remember. And in that small whisper, they found hope again. That hope is what is quietly pulling them toward you now. The angels say you do not need to prove anything anymore. Your name has already been written on their heart. And this time, when they come back, it will not be halfway. It will be with their whole heart. Do not look away now, because heaven wants to share something even the people closest to them cannot see. Before the next sunrise, a small sign will appear that quietly confirms everything you have just heard. It could be a name, a dream, a sudden phone call, or a random song that suddenly feels like a message meant only for you. When it happens, do not question it. Just let yourself smile. It means one cycle is closing and a brand new one is opening. The person on your mind is finally aligning with your energy, getting ready to rebuild what once felt broken. The angels say you are protected through all of this. Nothing can block what has already been written into your story. And when that reunion finally happens, remember this moment. Remember that heaven allowed them to fall apart, not to punish them, but to gently wake them up to a love that never actually died. Stay until the end, because something even bigger is still on its way. Heaven is preparing a quiet conversation between your soul and theirs, one that will reshape your entire connection. They are closer than you think. Their heart is already calling your name in the silence, and soon their voice will follow. What you did was never ordinary. It was something touched by something greater than yourself. That one simple act opened a door that cannot be closed again. So hold on to your peace. Stay grounded, because heaven's next move is already quietly in motion. Stay right here with me, dear soul. Do not scroll. Do not blink. What is about to unfold is the moment heaven has been gently building toward from the very beginning. You are standing at the edge of the truth your heart has waited so long to hear. The night they discovered what you did, something shifted deep inside them. Their walls cracked, their guard fell, and for the first time in a long while, they allowed themselves to truly feel something. That shock was not only emotional, it reached somewhere spiritual, gently shaking their whole soul awake. They sat there in silence, unable to move, tears falling before they even realized it. They could not tell if the tears came from guilt, from love, or simply from finally understanding what you meant to them. Every word, every image, every small reminder of you became a mirror showing them exactly what they had lost. They saw your quiet strength and your peace, and it hit them harder than they expected. They were the ones who let go of something truly sacred. Stay with me, because heaven wants you to understand the depth of what is happening quietly behind the scenes. What you did was never a coincidence. It was destiny delivering exactly the wake-up call their soul needed. They are not sleeping well these days. Their mind keeps replaying your last words together. They scroll through old memories and stare at your picture as if it could somehow speak back to them. They wish, more than anything, that they could turn back time just to hold you once more. The angels say your name keeps echoing gently through their dreams. They wake up suddenly at night, whispering your name as if your spirit were right there beside them. And in that quiet moment, they realize they never truly lost you at all. That collapse they felt was not the end. It was the start of something like repentance, the beginning of real change. Heaven allowed them to break so they could rebuild themselves the right way, this time with honesty instead of pride. Listen closely to this next part. They have started quietly reaching out to people close to you, asking softly how you have been doing. Their curiosity has slowly turned into something closer to longing, though they hide it well behind small talk. They want to know if you have moved on, if you still think of them, if there is any chance left between you. And every single time they hear your name, their chest tightens a little, because deep down they know they are the reason for the distance. The angels say they have been writing you messages they have not had the courage to send. Their heart is full of things they want to confess, but fear still holds them back. Still, heaven keeps gently pushing them closer to a moment of truth. Every sign, every dream, every small coincidence is quietly leading them back to you. You may think they forgot, but heaven says their heart never did for even a single moment. Dear soul, if these words are already touching something deep within your heart, I invite you to open yourself even further to receive the blessings that are finding you in this moment. Many in this beautiful community choose to sow a seed for their soulmate through Ko-Fi as a heartfelt act of faith, intention, and gratitude. For them, It's more than a donation. It's a symbolic step towards strengthening the spiritual connection between themselves and the love they're calling into their lives. If you feel guided to do the same, you'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and pinned comment. It truly is appreciated, and it helps keep these messages of light reaching the hearts that need them most. Stay still for this part, because what you are about to hear will explain so much. What they felt in that moment of collapse was more than emotional. It was a kind of spiritual surrender. They are finally letting go of their pride, their ego, and every excuse they once leaned on. They have realized just how deeply your presence shaped their life. Every good thing that once felt connected to them somehow felt connected to you too. And after you left, their world slowly began to dim without them fully understanding why. Now they understand that you were their light the entire time. They are quietly trying to rebuild themselves. They have cut away distractions, stopped forcing smiles that were not real, and started truly reflecting on their life. Every reflection somehow leads back to thoughts of you. Every quiet prayer they whisper now carries your name inside it. The angels say heaven is moving mountains to bring your paths back together. The timing will surprise you both, arriving suddenly, like a flash of lightning followed by a deep and settling peace. Stay with these words, because heaven is speaking directly to your soul right now. Their heart is breaking open, not from loss, but from truth. They are realizing that the love they tried so hard to bury is the only thing that was ever truly real to them. They keep picturing the look on your face the moment you finally see them again. They fear your silence, yet they long for your forgiveness. They do not fully know what to say, but their energy already speaks louder than any words ever could. Heaven is quietly arranging this reunion behind the scenes. Both of you are being prepared in your own way. Every emotion, every delay, every small coincidence, it is all part of a bigger, divine timing. And soon, you will stand face to face again, not as strangers, but as two souls that found their way back to each other through the storm. Stay close, because something meaningful is about to be revealed. Heaven says they will break their silence in a way you do not expect. It might be a late-night message, a sudden call, or even a gesture that surprises everyone around them. Before this message goes deeper into your heart, pause and check the channel name carefully. Some people are stealing and reposting our content, but copied messages do not carry the same positive spiritual energy. Stay connected to the original source, Angel's Message For You channel with the black logo base. And now, let your angels speak to you. Their confession will not sound rehearsed. It will pour out like rain after a long drought. They will tell you how your energy stayed with them, how every attempt to forget only made the memory grow stronger. The angels say this reunion is not only about romance. It is about something deeper, a kind of spiritual healing. The two of you are part of a much bigger story, a connection that refused to fade no matter how far it drifted. And now heaven says the time is almost here. That shock they felt is turning into awakening, and the awakening is turning into action. Right now, wherever they are, their heart is trembling quietly in the silence. They are remembering the very first time they saw you smile, the sound of your laugh, the calm in your eyes. They want to reach out, but fear of rejection holds them back. Still, something inside them will not let them rest until they do. Signs keep finding them. Numbers, dreams, sudden chills, songs, quiet reminders that all point back to you. Heaven is aligning your paths again. You may start noticing small synchronicities of your own, familiar feelings, sudden flashes of intuition. That is confirmation that this reunion is getting closer. The angels say, stay still and stay ready. When they appear again, your spirit will know before your mind even catches up. This next part matters the most. That collapse they went through was never a punishment. It was healing, quietly wrapped in the shape of shock. Their spirit was being cleansed through the pain of finally understanding. They are not the same person they were before. Their heart carries a quiet humility now. The same eyes that once looked away are now searching for a way to make things right. Heaven is proud of your patience, because while they were falling apart, you were quietly rising. And now heaven is weaving both of your journeys into one shared story. That one act of courage, the one that started all of this, was the moment you stepped into your own strength. You may not have realized it at the time, but heaven used it as the spark for their awakening. Something meaningful is about to shift. Heaven says that before long, there will be an unexpected sign confirming their return. It might be subtle, a familiar number, a sudden dream, or a name that appears again out of nowhere. The angels say, when that happens, stay calm and keep your heart open. Do not react from fear. Receive it with peace instead, because heaven's plan was never to repeat the past. It was to renew it. Their collapse was the falling away of pride, the breaking of illusion, the beginning of truth. And now that truth is walking toward you, a little unsteady, but sincere. The story that once broke your heart is becoming the very story that heals it completely. Stay with me, because you are entering one of the most meaningful parts of this journey. Heaven says what comes next will not only surprise your person, it will surprise you too. They are about to say words you thought you might never hear again. Their tears will carry apology. Their voice will carry devotion. Their presence will carry a quiet kind of peace. The same connection that once fell apart is rising again, made new by divine timing. The angels say, prepare your spirit for reunion, not for revenge. Let your energy stay soft and gentle, because a love that survives distance and time is sacred in a rare way. And when they finally come to you, you will understand that the shock was never about destruction. It was always about transformation. Stay a little longer, dear soul, because the moment you do, heaven quietly releases another layer of blessing into your life. They are on their way, not only in a physical sense, but in a spiritual one too. That collapse was the beginning of their awakening. And your calm, steady presence through it all was proof of your own alignment with something greater. Everything is falling into place exactly as it was meant to. So take a deep breath, trust the process, and get ready, because what belongs to you is already finding its way home. Something big is waiting for you. Stay with me. The reunion feels closer than ever, and heaven's plan is nearly complete. Take one more deep breath with me, dear soul, and stay a little longer. This is the moment everything begins to come together. Heaven has been waiting patiently for this very scene to unfold, and you are about to witness how shock slowly turns into revelation. The night around them is quiet now, but their heart is anything but still. They sit alone, thinking through every word they want to say to you. Every memory feels alive again. The laughter, the tears, the quiet promises made under the same sky. They keep asking for a sign, and every single time, something about you appears. A song, a name, a number, a familiar scent. Small reminders that will not let them rest until they finally make things right. The angels say their heart is already on its way to you. That collapse they felt was the moment their soul quietly agreed to change for good. What once broke them is now gently leading them back to you. Stay with this next part, because heaven is showing me the scene that is about to happen. You will be somewhere ordinary, caught up in your own day, and then suddenly a message will arrive. short, honest, trembling with feeling. It might simply say, "Can we talk?" or just your name, but somehow you will know exactly who it is. Your hands might shake a little, because the energy will feel both familiar and sacred at the same time. That is heaven confirming that the circle has closed. The one who once caused you pain will now be the one sent to help heal it. The angels say, respond with grace, not from ego, but from quiet wisdom. You do not need to prove anything anymore. Your energy already speaks for you. Stay with me, dear soul. They will stand in front of you soon, eyes filled with tears, voice a little unsteady. They will say your name like it is the only word they can remember. They will admit that the moment they learned what you did, their whole world seemed to stop turning. They will describe how their chest tightened, how their mind went blank, how they realized in that very second that they had been pretending to be okay for far too long. You will see the truth sitting right there in their eyes, a mix of fear, admiration, and a love they cannot quite hide anymore. Heaven will stay quiet in that moment, because it will finally be your turn to speak. All the pain you carried will begin turning into strength. All the waiting will finally start to make sense. Stay still for this next part, because these lines carry a kind of peace meant just for you. After their confession, there will be a long, quiet pause, the kind only two souls truly understand. You will feel their energy trembling a little, but you will also feel heaven smiling gently over the both of you. They will finally say the words you never thought you would hear again. I was wrong. I never actually stopped loving you. And you will see the truth in every tear that falls. No performance, no games, just something real and raw. The angels say, accept their truth, but hold on to your own peace too. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is a quiet kind of strength. The very shock that once broke them apart has slowly rebuilt them into someone capable of loving fully again. Something meaningful is about to bless you for your faith. Heaven is opening a brand new chapter in your life. Not only the return of someone you love, but also abundance, clarity, and a reward that comes from staying true to yourself. You stood firm when it would have been easier to fall apart. You chose quiet strength when you could have chosen to shout. And that is exactly why your energy became powerful enough to shake their entire world. Doors that once felt closed will start opening for you without much effort at all. Opportunities will find their way to you. Peace will follow you wherever you go. The same light that awakened them will now lead you toward your own next miracle. Let this message settle gently into your heart tonight, especially if you needed a little hope. Notice what you feel as you read these words, because your own energy adds something real to this moment. Your story is proof that quiet faith can move mountains. Your journey is not over. It is only rising. Everything that once broke your heart is slowly becoming the very reason you shine so brightly now. The angels say, stand tall, dear soul. You are meant to turn shock into peace, tears into strength, and loss into a love without limits. And as this chapter gently closes, know this: heaven never forgot you, not even for a moment. Your light is returning to you tenfold. The person on your mind is waking up, and the story that began with shock will end, softly and surely, in peace. Stay still, stay faithful, stay open, because something beautiful is already quietly making its way to you. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey. something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.